Hey guys, how you guys doing? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about a distribution that is a little bit closer to my heart because I actually have a communal tie to it. It comes from the Philippines. I have family in the Philippines. I have a home in the Philippines, and my love is in the Philippines. And this distribution, which is a lightweight Debian Xfce spin with the Windows 7 look, comes from the Philippines. So today we're going to take a look at that, and I cannot wait to show you what this guy has done with it because it is quite stunning, believe it or not. First, before we get started, I reached out to the actual developer. His name is Roy Hojgaard, and I kind of told him that I was going to do a review of this, that I've discovered this new distribution of Linux, and that I wanted to cover it in the video and find out if there was any points that he wanted me to discuss that he wanted to make an emphasis of in the video. So he sent me an email regarding what it is that he wants. So let's go ahead and take a look at that right now. And here's his email. He wrote, "Hello, Alex. This is Roy of Kumander Linux. These are the things that I would like you to focus on in your video. Number one, the design of Kumander Linux, which is inspired by Windows 7, is the best, he feels is the best OS Microsoft ever made in his opinion. My hope is that the login screen and the desktop experience will bring back them the warm feeling of being home to those previously who have used it. The ease of using the super key and start typing the name of the app that you want for quick access. Try to, for example, to click it and type it. C, calculator should be selected, press enter, and it opens fast and easy. Number three, the fact that there is no constant pop-up asking for password when doing admin things, like installing apps from the Software Center / Synaptic. The same is true for using apt in the terminal. So obviously, those two things will let you know that this is definitely a Debian-based distribution for using apt in the terminal to install the app, install, update, or upgrade. Some might call this a little security risk, but I believe the risk is so small that the convenience outweighs it. Security risk-wise, only because of the fact that the security that it's trying to protect is a new to Linux user or a unseasoned Linux user from doing some serious damage and borking their system. Because the password that when it's wanting you to enter your root password or your sudo password is when you're doing something at a command level that's actually OS core driven. You could damage a file that you actually need in your system for it to perform as a whole completely. So that is a bit risky. So I would honestly, my only suggestion would be is if there's a way for you to put in there when you're either installing it or after, say, like the fourth or fifth time that you want to do something, an option to opt out of it doing that. Maybe like, like a toggle somewhere that you could turn it off to where it doesn't do that, but allow the user to make that decision. Because I think that actually, you're going to have a lot of new to Linux people coming to use this because it's getting more popular. It's going to get a lot of focus, between us YouTubers, and I'm sure, other publications out there are writing about it. So the minute that they start doing that, then you're going to have a lot of complaints on that, it's risky because of that. And it isn't a security risk per se in the sense that it will damage, or put you at super risk of it. It just allows people from making nonsensical decisions, to their situation, to their system that could bork their situation. So that's something I just would advise you to do. Make it an in or out type thing versus a all or nothing thing. You know what I mean? Just let people make that decision, but make it easy for them to turn it on and off. But I believe the risk is so small that the convenience outweighs it. So, and number four, the fourth point that he makes is most shortcuts are the same as in Windows. Super opens the start menu, Super plus E opens the file manager, Super plus D minimizes all windows, and Super plus arrow, whether it be left, up, down, or right, tiles the active application window to respective sides. So you can actually navigate your floating window around using that. When using the file manager as a regular user, you can easily edit system files by right-clicking on them and selecting Edit as Root. This is a good time saver instead of having to open a Vim or a similar text-based app in the terminal and go hunting for said file. Okay, that one I think I like. All of the backgrounds that are the photos of the places in the Philippines. Since I live here now, I want to pay my respect to and honor the wonderful people here who have been nothing but kind and welcoming to me. I think that is about it. Of course, you're welcome to also focus on any other things that you find appropriate. Merry Christmas and Happy Year to you too. Regards, Roy. Well, Roy, let's go ahead and take a look at your OS and see what you've done with it. I really enjoyed the email. I definitely enjoyed the response, and I'm definitely going to focus on other things as well too to see. Now, mind you, I'm taking a look for it for the first time right here, live, right after reading your email. And this is the Kumander login screen for the Kumander Linux. Now, what I find I see automatically right there, that whole icon right there where above my name, that's the actual Filipino flag. That's pretty cool. I like that. So now we're going to log in. And here's our Xfce desktop. The panel's on the bottom. Now, mind you, he did configure this and customize this heavily to look a lot like Windows 7. So you got your start button at the bottom left, which is actually titled Start. So just like Windows 7, you got your folders that are pinned here along with your Office and GIMP stuff. You got your file manager that opens up. Look at that. Holy cow. And take a look at the desktop settings and see some of the wallpapers that he's talking about. Oh, that's beautiful. I think that's Boracay. Oh, the Philippines is absolutely gorgeous. If you haven't had a chance to go there and visit. I'm telling you, it is gorgeous. I thoroughly love the Philippines. This is cool. Is this what I think it is? It is. Oh, I got it. That's it. That's a Jeepney. That is a Jeepney. So a Jeepney is a vehicle that so it's a Jeep that's turned into like a limousine. In fact, let's open up Firefox and take a look at it. This is cool. Oop. Dang it. Jeepney. This is what a Jeepney looks like. It's a Jeep front end turned into like a limousine. It's kind of like the bus of the Philippines. I mean, they actually have buses as well, like like Greyhound buses and like city buses and stuff like that. But the Jeepney, is kind of like a glorified SUV taxi. Let's put it that way. Okay, it's like a glorified SUV taxi where you sit in it. You guys are all squashed in. You guys are holding onto a handrail and you're riding. And you get off at destinations. You pay them like 100 pesos or 50 pesos or whatever it is to go to wherever it is that you need to go to. It is pretty cool. Wow, that is so cool that he caught that. That brings me back fond memories of the Philippines. Like I said, if you have not ever gone to the Philippines, please do. The culture, the people are astounding. They're beautiful, wonderful people. Very, very proud people. Just all around well-rounded culture over there. You need to go. You need to experience it. That's all I'll tell you. I mean, I can't describe it. It's a feeling like you've never had before. It truly is. If I hit the super, it opens up the, what you call it, the application launcher. And if I type in, like he said, calculator, right? If I type in C, I get calculator or chess. Any application that's got C, just click on it and it opens just like that. I mean, it's got the fine. Super plus E will open up your file manager, which is kind of cool. So if we go to, say, file system, let's IRTD image, you should be able to edit as root. So if I do this, right click on it, open, it's going to open it up in Notepad, which is taking a little bit. It's converting it, I guess. Let's give it some time. I love how he's themed it so much like Windows. I'm going to hit OK. Are you going to open? We're going to close it. But as you saw, it wanted to open it up as root. Then Super plus D. Oh, wait, that will, I believe, minimizes all the windows. So if I hit Super plus D, it minimizes Windows and it opens Windows. The opposite, opens and closes Windows, just like you could. Those are the keyboard shortcuts that were available in Windows. Now, say I have that open, have Firefox open, right? I can do that where I could tile it. Say I could open it up and tile it, move it all around if I wanted to. Make it into like a tiling window manager. With the super plus the up, down, left, right arrows, I can move the window around. Isn't that cool? So on your desktop, you have the trash icon, you got the home folder, and you got the My Computer, which is it's labeled computer. It's the old Windows 7 icons, which you can theme very easily from any distribution and icon packs that they have. When you open it, wow, it actually looks just like Explorer. And it's using Thunar. Thunar is heavily customized to look just like Explorer. That is pretty doggone interesting. Which we all know Explorer was the actual file manager at the time for Windows 7. You have the start button here. Of course, you got your pinned icons here, such as your file manager, your Mozilla Firefox, LibreOffice, and of course GIMP. Then over here, you actually have a weather app, which is the weather report. This Teresa Rizal, I don't know where this is at. It must be set for someplace in the Philippines because it is not my area at all. I'm based out of Seattle. But either way, and it's Monday over there, which would lead me to believe, because they're a day ahead of us over there. So this leads me to believe that this is in the Philippines. Close. There we go. Next up, you have your volume icon, which looks like the Pavu. Pulse audio. Yeah, it's Pavu. Then you have your network connections, which looks just like Windows 7. Notifications, your date and time, which let's open that up. It's the Xfce calendar, correct? And then, of course, this is your monitor. So let's take a look and see what he's got installed. Under favorites, you've got your file manager, calculator, command prompt, notepad, which is a simple text editor. The icons are all pretty much so Windows icons, except for the colors. The colors are not Windows because historically Windows were blue, but I like the colors. What I like about this is he themed it to look like Windows, but didn't rip off of Windows. Meaning literally made it look like Windows. I mean, if I wanted to use Windows, I would download Windows. I mean, come on. If you miss Windows or have to use Windows that bad that you got to make Linux look just like Windows, why not just use Windows? Why make the jump? You know, and what I like is he did it in a very classy way where he put it and made it look very familiar, give you that feel of using Windows, like you're using Windows, but not really using Windows, and you know you're using something different, you know, and I think that is the best way to capture that. He's paying an homage to Windows for those of us that use Windows long before we did Linux and actually enjoyed Windows when Windows was actually reasonable and not the tyrant that it is today with your data and your equipment and everything else. It's like a cancer. It takes over everything and then it makes it itself, you know, and which is not the way it's supposed to be. but that's a different video for later. Either way, I really enjoy how he's done this with Kumander, where he's made it look and feel like it, but I mean, not 100% look, but more so feel like it and give you the nostalgia for it. So under all applications, of course, this is Xfce. This is where you can find all your applications that are actually installed on here. And if I go down this, then I don't need to go down these other categories, but it's just easier to go to the categories because it's far less. For accessories, you got calculator, you got your command prompt, which is your terminal, which should be the Xfce terminal, which I am correct on. And the Windows borders is just like Windows. I mean, it's pretty doggone. It's themed pretty nicely and pretty heavily. File manager we've already gone over. The menu editor, that's your normal stuff. It's got your screenshot, it's got your sensor viewer, and it's got X archiver. For development, you have Genie and you have VS Codium. Education, Libre Math. Games, it comes with games installed, so you've got 2048, Isle Riot, Chess, Mahjong, your typical run-of-the-mill, Debian games that come installed. For graphics, you have Blender, you've got a dock scanner, GIMP, which is very nice that he put a scanner in there. So it leads me to believe it's got printer support already added into it. We got your image viewer, Inkscape, which that's a little redundant between GIMP and Inkscape. They're kind of the same thing, only one's a scalable vector graphics and one is not. But to the average person, they would be the same. Anybody who knows the difference and uses the vital parts of it that's more so different would know that they're not really the same, but they're close enough. And then you got LibreOffice Draw. For internet, you've got FileZilla, Firefox, you got PuTTY SSH installed, Thunderbird, and Transmission. Multimedia, you've got Ardor, Audacious, you got the Parole Media Player, which is a fork of MPV Player, and you got Simple Screen Recorder. Office, as stated before, LibreOffice, and you have their PDF viewer. Under system, here's where you have all your system-based stuff, like your command prompt as root CPU X, which is a information about your CPU, which I have right here, as you can see. And then you have, under CPU X, you got the disk usage analyzer. You have file manager as root. You have Gigolo. You have Gparted. You have printer settings. You have the sensor viewer, the software center, which is going to be, I'm pretty sure it's the GNOME software center, right? Debian software, I guess. Looks a lot like the GNOME Software Center. Under preferences for software repositories, does it allow you to enable? No. This is definitely the Debian Software Center. You can do developer options, authentication, updates right here. Other software. This is where you can add repos and stuff like that. So, yeah, no, this is very, very nice. It's already got updates that it wants me to do. It's apparent he's already released another operating system update, but we're not going to do that. So that's your software center. So that's nice. You have your system monitors, the Synaptic Package Manager. You have time and date, and then you have user end groups where you can add users. Let's open up the system monitor. We're going to look at the resources. On memory, I'm only using 899 megs out of 4 gigs that I've given it here in this virtual machine. Also, for my CPU usage, I'm like using next to nothing at all. 2, 3, 5%. 2% of CPU, yeah, 5% total. I mean, there's not a lot going on with this. I mean, it is very lightweight. That explains why it's kind of so snappy. I noticed that it was kind of snappy too. Like when you open stuff, like you go to like the PDF here. I mean, that's snappy. I mean, Firefox, let's open up Firefox, see what version of Firefox we're running on. Of course, that was pretty snappy as well. And we're looking at 102.5, so it is definitely a stable release. Multimedia, let's Ardor. which most people want to put Audacity in, but he used Ardour, which is kind of cool. It makes me wonder if he kind of follows Oomfa. And maybe that's where he picked up Ardour. It's going to do an empty session. Start, and this is where it's going to, yep, and there we go. And now this is where you can record whatever it is that you're saying or doing. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. Very nice. We're going to discard session, and we're going to delete the session. So there we go. So, I mean, he's got some nice software installed out of the box on it. As I've stated, there's the Windows key with different key functions do different things. I really enjoy the simplicity and the cleanliness of it. It's beautiful. It's clean. It does give me that nostalgic feel for Windows 7, which I share his opinion on Windows 7. Oh, and one of the things is the cool thing about the name is he wanted to for the love of computers, his first computer was a Commodore, but he didn't want to name it Commander. He wanted to name it Kumander, which is a Filipino derived word. Can't remember the exact what it was, but if you go to the web page, you can find it. And let's go ahead and do that. Let's take a look at the web page. In the About section, this tells you Kumander. Okay, so first things first, Kumander Linux hails from the Philippines. The name Kumander simply means commander in English. Okay, it's actually a homage to Commodore, my first computer, but I didn't think that Komodoro, that's what it was, Komodoro sounded quite right. So Kumander it is. I think they're both pretty cool, actually. Komodoro's pretty good, but Commander's pretty good. So anyhow, that was the inspiration, and this is a nice picture of the developer, Roy, and Bernadette Hizasawa, who live in the Philippines. Great culture, great people, great everything. This is a great distribution. I definitely believe that you guys should click on this heart button for donating, and that you should donate to them via PayPal or Patreon. Click on either one of these links and donate to them. Let's give him a little love and support, because what he's created is actually so far the best remix or spin of a major distribution that actually stays true to the major distribution, but has that homage feel to what he was trying to capture. And he did so well. He did not rip it off like some other distribution out there that I've done videos on that is in, you know, we won't even talk about their mess that they're in, but we all know the one I'm talking about. And he did it the right way. This man did it the right way. So let's get behind him. Let's give him some support. Visit his webpage, download it, try it. Tell me what you think. Please leave a comment down below. He has told me he's watching for the video, so he may comment and answer some of your guys' questions down there. So please don't be afraid to ask him direct questions. Of course, you can always go here to the forum, and you can create an account and message him, and he will reply, because that's exactly how I got a hold of him. Use that forum. I love the fact that he's got a web page completely set up for this with a forum, all linked in. It's not an overbearing web page with a whole bunch of details and stuff like that. I do believe that he could do a little bit better than these screenshots, but more so a document, you know, like do a document section on there where he can put up a couple of, you know, like a wiki or something like that for people to go to. But other than that, as a whole, I think he's done a fantastic job with this. Either way, guys, if you have found this before I have and used it, please leave some comments down below as to what you thought of it, what you think about it. Also, if you have comments or questions that you want to direct towards the dev, he's actually going to be watching for the video and following it, so he may answer some of your questions. Other than that, it's well-rounded. It's a very organized, polished distribution, actually. I cannot for the love of me, I mean, I like to approach these with finding some of the negatives. Like I said, the only negatives is for him to be able to toggle on and off the requirement for the sudo password, because like I said, that could be questionably dangerous to newer to Linux users. Although they could reinstall it if they bork it, but still, why would you want to give somebody that negative experience instead of just allowing them to opt in or out on it? And, you know, pretty much that's it, really. I mean, that's the only knock I could give on it. You know what I mean? Honest to God. So anyhow, thanks guys. Y'all keep doing what you do. Keep on Linuxing and y'all stay blessed. All right. Have a great one.